Hi guys, Artiar here. So welcome back to a Dislyte video. So for today's video, I'm going through is the loyalty chest, which is the newest one we have with the Fumitsuki, the Brewster, all this thing here. So I'm going through one by one. I'm going to separate into a few parts, R2, R4, and R6. So if you haven't picked the loyalty chest, I hope you're actually waiting for this video. I know that, you know, I'm trying to balance out the schedule between my new current game that I'm covering and also Dislyte, but hope you actually is waiting for my video as well. Alright, so for the first one, Fumitsuki. So Fumitsuki, if you already have her and then if you consider as her R2 here is actually pretty good. Like, to be honest, if you want to play Fumitsuki, the R2 is pretty important because the dispel all buff from the target is actually pretty annoying. But so far, we can't really find a very good usage for her in the PvP content now because of the consistent pursuit means consistent Momo slashing you back. So for now, I would still say it's good because if you want to play Fumitsuki, the R2 is needed. So I will say it's not bad, but not the highest priority thing you want to go for. Then the next one is Tricky. So Tricky R2. So let's see where's Tricky. Alright, Tricky R2 here inflicts speed down on the target for 2 turns. Overall, it's an okay kind of debuff, but I don't think it's that necessary on that. Is it a must reso, to be honest? So in my opinion, Tricky R2 is a no. Then for Height R2, the Breath of the Dead stack will not be cleared in subsequent rounds. So previously, when they released this reso, to be honest, it's about the knockout. So previously, sorry, is it knockout or bid bout? If not mistaken, it's knockout. Alright, but basically there's one content that you have like 2 teams to fight. Your team 1 loses, then your team 2 will come up. So that time when Height reso came out, it's more about for that content. So when you have Team 1, then when you go to Team 2, all your buff won't get refreshed. So there's something for that. But for now, it's basically a pretty useless buff, to be honest. The Height needed a buff. Sienna R2 effect here applies the attack up and speed down extend to 3 turns instead of 2 turns. It's a good reso. I would say it's a good reso. Overall, it's smooth. And if you're using Sienna is actually pretty useful in the Desolate Land as well. So I will say not bad, but probably not something you are the best to go. Then the next one, Inferno Ife. So Ife R2 effect here. When the ability effect ends, which is your Slug Bomb, you extend all the debuff duration and instantly apply all the poison effect. So basically, when you are suffering a Memory Reef or the AoE type of content, and you are doing a poison team comp, Ife R2 actually plays a very important role to instantly trigger the poison damage. For example, you have like Kara with Hilda, and then apply a lot of poison, then you want a Esper to actually trigger all the poison effect. Then here comes to Ife R2. So with that said, Ife R2 actually have the highest value within all the Esper, because the moment you get R2 Ife, you are able to play a poison team in Memory Reef and also including the other wave kind of content, also including Yinglong as well. You can build a poison team with R2 Ife. Then the next one is going to be Brewster. Brewster R2 instantly get 3 reload attack at the start. Basically make your Brewster is already able to have his pew pew state, which is why Brewster is so strong. It's all because of the passive reload attack, able to start pew pew on the target. So also the best value instantly. Until now, Brewster is still being used in APAP as well, all thanks to his passive bullet at the start. Okay, Clara R2 effect here applies immunity extend to 2 turns. It's actually pretty good if you're using Clara in your, depends on your point war and bid bout. Sometimes Clara is pretty useful in most of the content because of the AP push, because of the immunity, and because of the cleanse and also heal. And also very good is Shadow Kill or Stream, I forgot the name, basically for the Inferno one. So overall, it's not bad. It's a pretty good reso R2 effect here to go for. Then the next one is the Flow Yuran here. Where's Yuran? R2 effect. After casting your S3, reset, is it S3? No, S2. After casting your S2, then reset all the cooldown for all Flow teammate ability S3. It's not really that useful in most content, like the reset S3 thing. I know on paper it looks very good, but we don't really have a lot of Flow unit that relies on their S3, so we don't really need the CD reset, unless in the future there's actually a Flow unit that relies on the S3. So for now, in my opinion, the R2 effect here is no. Like, to be honest, you run R0 and R6, you won't feel a big difference. Like if you see a player using R6 Yuran, and you see a player who is using R0 Yuran, they look exactly the same. There's not much difference. Okay, then the next one is gonna be Biotina. The Dispel used to be the Dispel Queen, but no longer be. Alright, where's Biotina? Here. Biotina target dispel change to 2 instead of 1. No, alright, it's lame. In this current environment of meta, that effect brings not much value or 0 value. Alright, this part will be the R2. Now let's take a look at the R4. Alright, so R4 here, to be honest, is more about the min-maxing stuff, right? Or probably closer to the R6, so depends. Alright, depends. So Sienna R4 here, the ability cooldown reduce, increase up a little bit of speed is for min-maxing. I would say it's not bad, not really that too bad. Then for height here, when any ally is currently not alive, increase some crit damage. Overall, still no. Like crit damage 40% is good, but your condition to trigger any ally is not alive, but to be honest, they can just nuke you down instantly. Then for tricky R4 effect, when you successfully dispel or stealing buff, you'll reduce the max HP cap. So to be honest, this effect is pretty not bad as well, because now we have a lot of experts currently using max HP. So currently with the max HP capacity kind of buff will actually play in a very big role as well. Then Biotina R4 effect. The first ability cast in the battle deals additional 15% damage. So at first they wanted to build Biotina as a Cleave Esper to dispel them, dispel their buff, and then cast the S3 to do a big AoE nuke that can ignore the defense. And nah, it's not going to be useful anymore. Then the next one is going to be Fumitsuki. Fumitsuki, where are you? There you go. R4 effect, when attacked by a critical hit, damage reduced by 15%, basically makes her tankier, but doesn't bring too much of a value as well. Then the next one, Yuran R4 effect give you additional speed. I would say it's not bad. Like if you're using Yuran in Probator, the additional speed will come in a little bit better. Not like too massive, but it will be a better. R4 effect grants base defense 20% to the ally with shield. Is something good to have when you have defender. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I would say it's not bad. Somewhere middle part, but I would still say the effect is pretty good. Sometimes the base defense 20% might actually save your team. Next one, Brewster R4 effect. This Esper's attack, when this Esper is not attacking on their own turn, damage plus 15%. This is so good for Brewster. R4 effect basically increases damage, and then he makes his pew damage even better. Then the next one is Ife R4 effect. 20% chance of ignore resist when attacking. To be honest, you don't really need the effect at all. All you need is your ally to actually apply the poison. Then Ife trigger the poison. That's all you need to do. So this is the R4 effect. Pretty straightforward. If you have R3 of them, just get Brewster. Brewster have the highest value. Then let's take a look at R6. Alright, R6 effect for Ife. When you cast your S1, you instantly apply poison effect on the target for 1 turn. So with your Tail Whip, S1, then you put a poison, instantly trigger on the poison. So the effect is actually pretty not bad. If your team is a poison team, you apply a lot of poison, so it makes your S3 able to trigger poison. Then your S1 can also trigger poison, so it will keep on triggering poison on the target, so it will actually make it good. Then the next one, Brewster R6 effect here. When the target max HP is above than Brewster, then the damage increased by 10%. The attack here also does a splash damage to one random enemy, which the splash damage is 50% of the attack. So splash damage makes Brewster able to hit 2 targets, and most importantly, the R6 here further increased Brewster damage as well. So Brewster Rezo and the kit is actually built in very good. So I will say Brewster is actually the best for the R6 value. Then for Clara R6 effect, heal time change to 3. Most of the time you won't really feel any changes due to the heal proc, but you will feel the effect of changes when you're using Clara in Desolate Land because it relies on cleanse, and with that, one additional proc of healing basically make you able to cleanse 1 extra time. Okay, next one is going to be Fumitsuki. So Fumitsuki R6 effect here grants you bamboos at the start of the combat, and you no longer get bamboos. So you always have this effect. You always have resistance 60% increase. You always have additional 60% defense increase, and you dispel all kind of debuff from the carrier at the start of the turn. So this effect here, on paper it seems very good, but the part that you dispel all the debuff from the target at the start of the combat actually get affected by Tricky very consistently, and the effect wise is not really like too game breaking. Like R2 Fumitsuki and R6 Fumitsuki, you won't see too much of a difference. So in my opinion, I will say no. Then the next one, Tricky. Tricky R6 effect here provides HP reduction wound lower than 15% of the max HP. So basically increase your passive max HP reduction to reduce even further. So it's a not bad effect, but it's not something too game breaking as well. Then for Sienna here, R6 effect, your stun extend to 2 turns. It's a not bad effect because when you use Sienna on some certain event, like for example Chaos Realm, or for example there's like time to time the event stages that requires a lot more stun, then Sienna 2 turn of stun will come in handy, but not something you should actually chase for. Then the next one is Biotina. Biotina R6 effect, ignore defense no longer have a condition. So previously, for you to ignore defense, you need to not have buff. Alright, if the enemy not buff, ignore 100% of the defense. But R6 effect here give you no longer need them to have no buff to ignore the defense. But to be honest, there's so many Esper that can provide true damage instantly, so no. Next one is gonna be Hide. So Hide R6 effect here. At the start of the combat, you instantly get 10 stack of Breath of the Deep, basically let you stack up easier, give you a little bit more of stats. You get 50% attack, and then 30% max. Sorry, this is 10 stack, right? So 5% attack and 3% max damage reduction at the start of the combat is too little and too not really worth the time to stack it up. We have so many better Esper, for example, Suicide, to actually build that up. Then the last one for today is gonna be Yuran. So Yuran R6 effect here, after casting your S3, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, after casting your S3, then you get a bonus turn, then you cast S2. No. To be honest, no, because Yuran will actually consume your turn faster. Like for example, if you're using Falsetto Fantasy Proper 13, then there's a turn limit. So basically Yuran is stealing 1 turn away from your team. That's actually not something you want to go for. So overall, it's a no. So that's all for this video. This will be the loyalty chest priority list from the Esper. So basically, if you can, just get Brewster. If your Brewster is not R6 yet, then the rest depends on your needs and your reso. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is GenMP, SPVCEJVMQ, Trendcan, thank you so much for your support. And also special thanks for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Seimer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwaltz, Rimu, Choni, Antonio Winterspoon, Cragran, Calamity, Rokos Tendions, Jordan Alons. Special thanks for your support. And also special thanks for the Super Tanks MVP, HMZ, RY, and X Reeds. Thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest 10. Thank you so much for Code Wilderness, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Choni. Thank you so much for your support.